creates metal. All metal comes from under the ground and from the earth. Then metal creates water. Now that, is a stretch for many people. And you say, well, how does that? Some explain it, well, when you melt metal, it runs like water. But I think of it this way. When you look up in the sky, the metal, okay, you look at magnetic fields, right?
Right.
Positive and negative attract each other. And when you get the positive and negative up in the sky, you get thunder, you get lightning followed by rain, right?
Correct.
So you got the positive and negative, which are metal elements, right, coming together and creating rain, which is water. Or you can say, let's bring it more to a practical aspect. You go out to your car in the morning, and what do you find on top of your car? Wet, right? There's dew out there, not rain, but,
right.
Condensation. Now we know, simple science, it's condensation. But for someone who let's say it's a child, has never seen it, oh my gosh, last night when we we left the car in the driveway, the top of the car was dry, right? But now in the morning, there's water on it. So it's like magic, but we know it's, pure science. So I like to explain it that way.
We now know, because of the advanced discoveries in physics, that all matter is animate. It's not just a dead object, and that matter emanates energy from it.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things that Feng Shui does is it verifies that energy is stored and emanates off of objects. They're not just dead. They're not inanimate as we typically think of them.
Yeah.
One of the things I thought was very interesting in the 3 books that I read of yours, and I don't know which one it was in, but you were talking about how sometimes people pick up objects from temples and then they all of a sudden have terrible luck.
Yeah.
Something happens. Talk about that.
Absolutely. I believe that. Let's say you believe that everything is organic or even inorganic. All right. Well, let's say organic first, because that's easier to comprehend and accept. Everything being organic. Let's say you have a piece of wood furniture in a home. Now, people emanate energy.
Right.
You know that. What if the furniture in a home absorbs, let's say the metal, or metal not so much, but certainly, well, metal, yes. Let's say a piece of jewelry.
Correct.
And wear it on your hand. Or that being, inorganic, okay? And then we have something like a piece of wooden furniture. So we have both metal possibilities. Yeah,
Correct.
Both metal and wood. And you say, okay, people are emanating this energy. Let's say it's in a happy household, okay? So what do you think is happening? The energy in a happy wife or husband's wedding ring that he wears for 40, she wears for 50, 60 years. And this energy that is being absorbed in the wooden furniture. Now let's take the flip side of that. What if it is a home that is filled with negative energy? A lot of friction, a lot of anger, a lot of hostility. What do you think happens to those objects?
They absorb it.
They absorb it. And so, is it a stretch to think or believe that when you pick up an antique from someone's home or a garage sale or from anywhere, and I've seen it over and over and over again, and I've got stories galore, right? We could be here for hours telling about 21 years of doing Feng Shui consultations.
This may be a virtual kidnapping, but please continue.
But can you, and I've seen it. So let's say you go to a garage sale and you see a beautiful vase, and you say, oh, that's great. And you take it home, and then all of a sudden, negative things start happening. And then you realize, oh, my gosh, that was my neighbor across the street having a garage sale because she got a divorce.
Well, let me ask you something. Some people may hear this, okay, in the background.
Yes.
And utter to themselves, it's superstitious stuff.
Yes.
But given my own background and talking to physicists and people that are experts in the area of resonance, the resonant field, talking about matter and talking about what is animate and what isn't, we are in a new world of understanding.
Yes.
And therefore, if resonance exists And matter is animate. This isn't a superstition.
No, it is not. And that's why I was so delighted and so appreciative that you invited me to speak and interview me for your show. I appreciate it. Because I am married to an electrical engineer.
Wow.
And so you can imagine when I started my Feng Shui work. He said, and bless his heart, we have been married for 43 years.
Congratulations.
Yes.
You're going to be in Guinness.
No. No, that would be my in-laws who were married 75.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, and he was very supportive, but skeptical, because he believes he's a left brain person.
Right.
Analytical, logic. Give me the facts. Give me person. But as he went with me on my speaking engagements, like I was speaking in front of the dinner speaker, the keynote speaker at different events, he realized it was not superstition. He realized, no, this is a lot of very practical. It is practical, and I'm going to use an example for you.
Okay.
I'm going to use an example for it. You would not build a house. Nobody who would like to build a house would simply plop a house on a piece of land. You would not plant your plants in the wrong place in your garden. You would just be wasting your money. For example, if you knew that a bougainvillea requires lots of sunshine and light dry, you would not plant a bougainvillea under, let's say, a big tree. Correct?
Correct.
And you would not place your house so that you would waste energy. That is why we hire architects, because an architect will look at the land and say, this is exactly to make this the most energy efficient. I need to angle this house in a certain way so it takes advantage of the light, but does not absorb the heat. And that is why most homes in China were built facing north-south. Now, let me take this further and
please do,
to help dispel this thing about superstition. Think of fall coming around, after Labor Day, and not in L.A., but about October, in the northern hemisphere. Where do the birds fly?
That's your answer. Where do they fly?
They fly south, right?
They fly south?
They go south because it's warmer. They're seeking warmer climates. Where do the salmon of the Pacific Northwest swim to in the ocean in the fall? They are going to southern waters. Where do the whales off the California coast swim? Where do they go? From December to April. They're going towards Mexico. And where do all the people in New York go in the wintertime?
To Florida.
Why?
Because it's warmer.
Got it. This is the way of nature, right? People are seeking warmer climates. It's climates. And it's the same way with why in the old, pioneer days, in the springtime, in the summer or whenever, the cattlemen would take their ranches up to different places to do their spring feeding and what have you. They move the herds of cattle around, or the sheep in New Zealand. They move them around depending on where the food is and where the climate is. And this is nature. This is not superstition. And so why do we, in Feng Shui, prefer a house that is facing the south? In the northern hemisphere is because north is cold. And so we want our back to be protected. And so we want to face it towards, against, we don't want the cold wind blowing into the front of our house where the windows are.
So there's a method to this.
Oh, yes, there is.
This mystery.
Yes, but it's not a mystery. It is good common sense. East. Why? The eastern sun in the morning is very weak. It's weak. It grows stronger until the apex at noon, and then by afternoon, all afternoon, you get that hot western sun that fades your draperies and